because it's lunch now. Okay, we're going to have a look at your psychic energy update as well as the astrology and see what I'm seeing coming through for you guys. Now, I would say by mid-month, and especially moving through this month, I will say, you guys have maybe felt with circumstances a little bit piggy in the middle. Now, we did have the full moon in Virgo. Now, for you, Taurus, the full moon in Virgo might have been to do with a creative endeavor. It may be linking to children. Even your way of life. And it does make sense. And you guys really, as much as you do have a lot of shifts happening this year, you also have the benefits that we do have the North Node in your second house. The North Node is what you're guided towards. It's what you're needing to move towards. It is in the house of Gemini. Now, with that, for those of you that are trying to generate an income, again, movement, there can be a lot of movement. You may need to have, how do I put it? From an income point of view, you have the gift of the gap, I would say that. You also have great benefits because you do have the North Node there. So there's a lot of development there, and the way you're going to gain your resources can be very handy. It can be through word of mouth. You may be more lucky on the financial front. You might tend to find that you could have some really great creative ideas, and especially this month, Taurus. Now, it is hard for your zodiac sign this year because we do have Uranus and Taurus, and it's making 3 squares. Plus, it can be the energy of sudden change, and I think it's really changing you to the T. You guys do like that stability. We did have very heavy hitting energies all last month for you. We had Mars and Taurus. We've got Uranus and Taurus. We had the squares. We also had Black Moon Lilith there. So, with Mars being there, you may have been go. You might have got a lot done. Some of you may have felt a little bit burnt out, and some of you may have felt more volatile in nature. You'll find that you're really going to be guided towards your psychic energy this month, and it's more towards looking at your psychology surrounding what's holding you back. Really through that retrograde with Aquarius, it was connected into the 10th house. How you showed up in a situation, what energy you were putting in, what you're wanting to put energy into at the moment. I am seeing it's almost like in connections. Let's have a look at your romance house. Number 1, you can see more communication develop in the romance house. Singles, couples, and those of you in betweeners. In the romantic domain, I do feel pay attention to your health. Now, I do feel if you have been working extremely hard and you've been trying to achieve certain things, you may have felt there might have been inner child wounds that came up around the time of the full moon. But also from a creative point of view, or if you're wanting to have children, there may have been thoughts to do with that. You may find in the next 6 months, yes, that can be something that can come up for you. Some of you may be launching something brand new and implementing it from here forward. Others of you, yes, it could be the birth of a child. Now, I do see from your chart, I'm just having a scroll down your chart. Now, home front and things to that degree from February, and the reason I'm making reference to the previous months is due to the fact that we did have forward movement, but it might have been quite tedious. Now, as we move direct, you're going to find that those circumstances are going to ease up, and you may find that you can actually implement some of those things that you wanted to change probably between now and the 13th. But you may find that you're very fatigued at the moment and are needing to keep things quite simple and keep them basic. Now, communication as per se, try and, if you're in communication with anyone and there's been cross wires, You may find creating those healthy boundaries at the moment, especially during the retrograde. If you found those contracts and the people around you were hindering the things you were doing, and maybe it was projected towards you and it was all your fault, however it's landing, really shifting away from certain circumstances or getting to the root core. Because as we move towards April, there can be some arduous energy coming, and that's due to the fact that Mars is going to move into Cancer. So, pay attention to miscommunication, avoid conflict when it comes to that moving forward. And if you can see it more towards the end of this month, pre-warned, forearmed. Now, I'm seeing anything you're changing. Some of you may want to change your job. Others of you, I feel, with the adversity and the things you're being putting towards, there can be some tedious times moving forward, but you may find there can also be some very great aspects where those circumstances to do with your thoughts and your ideas, if you're trying to promote them, they should start easing up where people are absorbing them. When it does come to you putting resumes out, if you're unemployed, you'll find that that will be flowing better. People may misunderstand what you're saying, and we do need to be very careful as well. Be careful about who you're telling things to, because I'm almost seeing a psychic energy. I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. I'm seeing a psychic energy of people snooping. And it might be snooping relating to your money, your assets, the things you have. Be very mindful. I'm also seeing, like, where your house is. It's like somebody's viewing you, but it's some of you, it can be something very, very trivial. It's a bit like, the spy in the street, who's always ratting off everyone. But other things, it feels like neighborhood watch. That's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing for some of you, yes, this could be a romantic interest, but I feel it's more interference, gossip, and also be very careful who you're telling things to at the moment, because I do see that actually, going through the grapevine. But I'm also seeing something to do with your creative ideas, what you have in your home. Make sure your insurance is up to date. For some of you, I do see someone watching, so if you've got cameras or you've got security, added bonus. I do feel there may have been misunderstandings over the last few weeks for those of you that are dealing with work or other people or a romantic interest. But I do feel that I'm seeing some of you wanting to have a holiday. This holiday can be, hey, all work, no play makes for a dull day. But you're being very, some of you are being very tight with that cash component. You do have real big plans. You're being very, what would the word be? I think you experienced something that's given you a grand idea. And because of that grand idea, I'm seeing you to be very attention orientated. And I see you putting money away. I do feel, I've got to look at the 9th house, because psychically I'm seeing there may be news from afar. When am I seeing that happen? I feel like there is a conversation with a person overseas for some of you. And it could be family related. It may be to do with, it feels family related. That's what they're showing me. There may be an old circumstance that comes up that you're looking at and you're trying to change it up. And I'm feeling there may be for some of you, I don't know why I'm saying this, there's paperwork relating to an old house. Now, this could be just a message for one individual. But I'm seeing, something that you thought was well and truly finished, it feels like it's coming back again. And it was and yes, that can happen during Mercury in shadow and Mercury retrograde, but it seems documentation, something hasn't been done correctly. You believed it was all sorted and done, but it feels as though there could be a circumstance that hasn't been completed correctly, and it actually can cause frustration. I would say frustration, not necessarily drama, just surprise and shock. Money-wise, I do see that there's a potential that you can have a very creative idea I feel, especially in romance, you know, you're really craving that very, very deep connection. But some of you could be on the fence. Some of you could be to the point, you know, is this my deep spiritual connection? How do I feel? You know, this could be wounds relating to the past. It could be due to circumstances and you feel attention hasn't been given to you. Some of you, this is almost attachment energy where it's like, are we going to be okay? Is everything going to be fine? And look, I'm really channeling for, you know, all energies relating to this. So it depends on how it hits. You know, for some of you, I feel it's very anxious and it's like, you know, are we going to last the distance? You might be concerned about the person's health and well-being, your finances, and if everything would be okay. It could be to do with legacies and inheritances. But I feel this angst there. Others of you, I do feel that there might have been some circumstances where there were cross wires. I do feel this Pisces energy coming through can alleviate some of that. But it depends on how far that, you know, that energy dug. Do you know what I mean? It depends on how far in you are to had it up to here. Some of you, I do feel there's a little bit of a spat. This may have already occurred. But you're trying not to, it's really, well, for those of you who this is relevant, it's almost like you are really taking this to the core. It's like, that was really unfair, that was really unwarranted. Now, this could be a previous event or it's yet to come. I see too, it's like you've got a lot in common, but there's ideals and there's a bit of headbutting at the moment. I also feel there's someone, and I'm hearing the term piggy in the middle. Now, yes, that could be a third party. For some of you, it could be someone that just directly interferes and they're a little bit of a busybody, or it could be jealousy within a circumstance. For those of you, probably it's more so for those of you directly connected. It could be, on the other hand, those of you, you know, that are on the in-between and you're really just, you know, you're wanting your own personal space. I'm hearing also relating to a love interest, for those of you that aren't directly together, there could be a little bit of information that comes down the grapevine. You may take it slightly personal. Please go into your 12th house and tune into if you feel it's real. Because these things can be there to test you. And I do feel there's something at a spiritual level that somebody's trying to test you. They're trying to stir the pot. Let's have a quick look. Some of you really could want to join a gym or do something different. You may have different social experiences that you're wanting. And you could actually gain some real joy out of this moving forward. Some of you may actually turn a hobby into a job. Especially for those of you, you know, if you're parents and you don't have to be at work and there's a different circumstance happening in your life, it's almost like I'm seeing a hobby that can turn into quite a lucrative endeavor. Because you do have Gemini in the second house and you have the energy of Scorpio there, something needs to be changed around. I think some of you are looking at whether something will last the test of time, but you're doing a quality assessment on it, which is really healthy to do, you know, after the shadow energy of Mercury, due to the fact that you're going to have some very, very creative ideas how to shape things up. Now, yes, for some of you, I do see, you know, there was a potential around the Leo moon that you were dealing with, maybe, you know, having to do quite a bit, having a lot on your plate, maybe being the go-to person with the circumstance. Some of you, you know, may choose to move. Now, this can be what plans are we going to have? But it looks like this house actually does look quite luxury for those of you that are moving. Some of you, yes, it could be a 2-story house or it's on the 2nd floor. It feels different in accommodation sense to what you currently have. And it may be due to, and it can even be renovations, you know, those of you at home and you feel something's really changed. I feel that hustle and bustle, you're looking at the environment, and it's like environmental awareness. Okay, what can I do to make this work for me? What else am I seeing? Any questions? We're ever so quiet in the chat. We've got 6 in the house. Thank you for liking. Okay, the warning dates, I would say, especially with, we're going to have the new moon, which I will do a moon energy video, and I will channel that energy. For you guys, it is to do with, again, your friendship groups could be changing at the moment. You could really see people from the past that you have more resonance with your spiritual ideals. You could psychically tune into these individuals. If you had a friend that passed over again, I would say you're thinking back and reminiscing over those circumstances and the things that you used to do together. And even thinking on it, I'm feeling this smile kind of light up because there was a cheeky energy, a cheeky character that's coming through. And at Heidi, it's very nostalgic in nature. I do feel, and for some of you, I do feel it's a female energy. I'm seeing one male energy, but he's quite tall, and this person might be someone who ends up looking at this video after. He has quite thick hair. There's something to do with you wanting to return to innocence, as per se, and it's like, you know, going back to being a big kid, going back to you know, having that fun, things not being so super serious. I think this will probably come through by mid-month, and it's maybe, you know, your energy, your auric field, you're looking at it and you're thinking this is all too tense. But you're also wanting some personal time. I think a lot of you are wanting some, when I say personal time, it doesn't mean to say that, hey, you know, you're single, so therefore you've got a lot of personal time. If you're doing the bust and grind and you're working, you know, all day sort of thing, and especially, you know, we really need to be very conscious for those of us that are working from home to create that routine where we can have some sense of separation, that you can have your own personal life, which can be doing hobbies. It can be, you know, you may want to go into the garden and do things, whatever, you know, it really resonates with you that is enjoyable. It might even be having a coffee with a friend, having a chat to a person on the phone that, you know, you really care about, but doing something that's actually vibrationally in alignment with you. But I do see family might have been a bit of a tension point, and that could be because you missed them, or it could be because there was tension there. Now, as to this movement, I don't know why I'm still saying it very firmly. You're really wary about particular individuals, and I do feel for some of you, you're keeping your cards close to your chest. You're not, and you really do need to. I'm really seeing that to be deeply important. Some of you actually may get a new car. You might be looking at that domain. But I feel it's more towards the end of the month. You know, it might be upgrades, it might be services. You know, really, really be careful on the roads, because we do have that energy coming through in your astrology as well as through the psychic energies. You know, really be present. If you have too much going on, it can be really problematic. So we're really needing to pay attention and be present with all of this Mercury energy. It's really fast-paced. And you'll also find that as we proceed forward, all those problems that were there should start dissipating. They should start being, you know, more calm in a sense. Yeah, there you go. Well, in it, I would say, be careful of your social, money could go out directly relating to some of your hobbies and your pastimes. So pay attention to the expenses on that. Look at creative ways you can do such, you know, think outside the box when it comes to it, because all the way, you know, it sounds funny, I don't know why I'm saying this, but all the way down to the dollar, it could be something as trivial as coffee here, a coffee there. I feel like you're looking at your budget, and it's almost like, for some of you, I'm almost seeing in an account, if you go back and look, it's almost like they've double dipped. They've actually taken more out than you thought. And I do feel, because this can be quite a social month, really make sure you go straight to the bills, get them done, because I do feel this is going to be quite a social month for you guys. And look, it could be that you're simply having to run more errands, or that you have children. There could be subjects relating to things that they're physically needing. It just feels more social energy. Some of you, this is really strange. I don't know, I held the coffee up. It's like restaurateur. Some of you could be doing something relating to food. There also could be a great idea you've had, and maybe somebody wants to maybe do a joint business venture for those of you who it's relevant. But I see something to do with some social activity. It could be somebody asking you to actually host a party or, organize something, give your creative ideas. It might be decorating or something to that degree, but it feels something it could even be a community event, but it's something you're being called upon. Could even be relating to school. Whatever, it's like you're being asked to do something though, and it's creative, but it could cost a little bit more than you thought. So pre-warned for Taurus. Now, do be mindful that, with your expenses, I would say it's a lucky time. If you're wanting your hopes and dreams to come through, I would say easy a week in, a week out. You really do have a lot of luck, especially when it comes to finances. Anything that you've launched and you're wanting to launch, I do see it going extremely successfully. I also see luck. Now, when I say luck, it could be finding $50 on the floor. It could be something to that degree. It could be lotto. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but it does appear to be for you, Taurus, a very lucky month, point blank zero. Any questions? Pay attention to your wounds, though. You're going to find that it's going to be pretty passionate as we move forward. You'll have a lot. There could be fights over money for some of you. If there's any, disputes that you're dealing with, it could be quite aggressive in nature, especially if you're going through court for anything. And again, create those healthy boundaries. Make sure you have all your information correct, because you do have 6th house activation at the full moon. Now, if you dotted all your I's and crossed the T's, I feel it should go in your favor. But on the lower frequency, it could be, if you were maybe telling a porcupine, it probably will not go in your favor. But you do have the energy there to push that situation forward, and there can be crosswise up to the 13th. But it can, regardless, it's going to cause a very new way in which money will come to you. Okay? Anyone in the house got a court case or something they're fighting over currently? Hi, Louise. Some of you, I do see this year potentially, you could be getting a new car. New business. Again, really pay attention to the road though, guys, especially when it comes to devices. I don't know why I'm saying phone. Pay attention to your phone. And as we move towards, let me see the date. We're going to have Venus. Venus will be in Pisces until the 21st. Venus then enters Aries. Now, remember, we do have Aries and Chiron. It's going to be, it can be very fiery. It can be very passionate. We are having sextiles to Venus, which is good, but we need to be mindful of our wounds, because there are a few tricky points, in the month where it could be a little bit testing. So, with you, it could be your viewpoints or your values, maybe something you didn't even know that you were feeling or, needing inside of a connection. And it can be our psychology, especially if we're not creating healthy boundaries with individuals and we're telling ourselves a story or we're getting ourselves up and worry. I also feel some of you, again, can have very heightened dream state. And, for some of you, this is a very, very spiritual connection. And you may find by mid-month, especially for those of you that are single, there could be passionate communication moving forward. I will love you and leave you. And I will come back shortly to do Capricorn. We'll get through it sooner or later. Some of you are very tired. Some of you have the evil eye on you. So do a smudge. If you get tired, or you find when you think of an individual in particular and you start yawning, you'll know who the energy is and where it's coming from. And you can actually clear your auric field You can do a gin removal. You can use a smudge stick, you know, and go and have a shower and try to tune out of that individual maybe for half an hour. And wear some tourmaline and amethyst on you, which can psychically protect you. Okay? Also, get your windows clean. I'll have to do a little video relating to some tips moving through, you know, with Pisces energy and, you know, all that Neptunian energy. It's very psychic in nature, but we can be more inclined to have psychic attacks this month if we're not looking after ourselves. So clean your mirrors, you know, with whatever you clean your windows with. Do your windows, do any shiny surface, because the energy can get stuck in. Smudge your house and clear the energy through, but also spend some quality time on things that are pleasurable to you to get your vibration back up. Love and light, guys. If you do want a personal booking, you can go to the link below. Otherwise, join us for the twin flame vids, and I'll see you soon.